Hello, everyone. Welcome back to the Box to Box podcast. If this is your first time watching or listening, my name is Waleed. I'm one of the co hosts on this podcast. My other co host, Mohammed, is not with us currently, but he'll be back very soon. The footballing season is upon us. The new footballing season was upon us, the 2023-2024 footballing season. And in regards to this video, the Premier League season is also upon us. At the time of recording, around 4 to 5 days until the Premier League kicks off, the new season of the Premier League kicks off. And I'm here to give you my predictions. So let's get started. Now, the only catch to this, or I'm not too sure if this is considered a catch, but I'm only going to be giving my predictions for the top six. So the top six teams that will finish in Europe. We'll slightly touch upon who may finish in the Conference League. And I'll also give who I think will get relegated. Now, the reason why I'm not going to be giving um, my predictions from first place all the way down to 20th place is because I feel it's a bit too early, it's a bit too unpredictable. I don't know if a lot of you can recall from last season, but I think around match week 29, 30, 31, it was places from 12th all the way down to 20th that were pretty much fighting for relegation. So I think it's a bit unpredictable. Maybe we can go back and visit this around November, December, and we can actually give our full prediction. The reason why is because we can know which teams are more on form, if teams lost form, if there's a lot of injuries for specific teams or for big teams. As well, Man City are going to the Club World Cup in December. It's not in January or February anymore. So it's a bit unpredictable to give a full top 20 prediction list for the Premier League. So yeah, let's get started. I'm gonna be talking about the who I think is gonna get relegated first. Um, this is in no particular order or significant order. Um, the first team I think is Wolves, and the reason why maybe a lot of people will agree with what I'm gonna say, but they just haven't signed any significant players with the quality that can match the players that left, like Raul Jimenez and Ruben Neves, for example. And they just there aren't any players coming in currently, and I think it was last week that it was reported that, or rumors, I think that Lopetegui would is probably considering leaving the job, and that's quite concerning when you've got at the time when the rumors came out that you've had over a week until the Premier League kicks off and your manager is going to be leaving. That's a concern. The second team I think is Nottingham Forest. I think they barely survived last year and they relied heavily on the teams around them. All the teams around them pretty much failed to win their games and their tasks. And obviously, Nottingham Forest took advantage of that. And this is similar to Wolves. They really haven't signed any players, proper players that can probably keep them in the Premier League again. And I think it's time for them to go down. Steve Cooper, I think that's the manager. Steve Cooper did an amazing job to try and keep them up, but I think it's time for them to go down. And my last team is Luton. I just think it was probably a miracle for them to go into the Premier League last season through the playoffs, and I just don't think they're gonna have the quality to stay up. Maybe they'll get a couple more chances in the coming seasons, but I don't think they're gonna be staying in the Premier League. Anyways, we finished the relegation places. Let's get into my top six. I made sure not to look at any other prediction from anyone around me or online or on social media, just so I can go into this prediction giving my full honest thoughts and who I genuinely think will finish in these places. Um, let's start off with sixth place. Sixth place. So the two Europa League spots, the sixth and fifth. Um, Sixth place, I think it's going to be Aston Villa. I think Aston Villa are going to push. They finished in the Conference League last year, beating Brentford and Spurs to a European place. I think they're going to finish sixth. I think they're going to go into the Europa League next year, and you've got probably the king of Europa League, Unai Emery. So the reason why I think they will go into Europa League next year is because number one, because of the signings they've made. Number two, because of the entire revamp that Unai Emery has also established. And I just think they are one of the teams that are taking the form they finished with last year and applying it to this year. I don't like to judge teams off their games over the summer, so preseason. Um, because look, Man United, I think they pretty much like lost almost every preseason bar one, preseason game, sorry, and they can easily finish in Europe. In top four, they can finish in the top two, top three, whatever. We'll get into that. I don't like to determine teams' progress throughout preseason because once the season gets going and once the adrenaline kicks in and the pressure and oh, we actually have to work on this. Um, I think Aston Villa will finish sixth. Um, their signings like Pau Torres and Diaby from Leverkusen. Pau Torres is a very, very quality center back for any La Liga fans who are watching this. I myself, I'm a La Liga fan, I'm a Barca fan, so I know Pau Torres from his days at Villarreal. He's an important piece to their puzzle. And he's an amazing ball playing center back. He's calm on the ball, and one of his biggest traits is his long balls. And I think that would benefit this Aston Villa team a lot, especially in the Premier League. And this goes into my second point, the way Unai Emery revamped the entire squad and the entire system. The team is more straightforward, they're more attacking, they get the job done, less mistakes are happening, and their main man up front, Ollie Watkins, has been learning a lot from Unai Emery's what do you call it? Tactics or learnings, I guess. I'm not too sure. But I think their preseason form, their form before the season, sorry, last season, I think has been amazing, and I think they're going to be pushing into the Europa League. I know they'll be playing Thursday night football with the Conference League, and maybe that might alter the progression within their um within the standing, sorry, of the Premier League. Who knows? But I think that's just my opinion. I have no idea. Drop down below in the comments if you think otherwise. I'm not too sure. Now, fifth place is a bit of a spanner in the works because I put this team in the last couple of days. I had them in second because I genuinely think they would have a massive redemption season. But then after looking at their squad and looking at how they may set up, I just still am not convinced by their defensive line, and that's Liverpool. Yes, I have them in fifth again for the second season running. I'll give you my reasons for why I put them in second first. Is because I think they are going to have a massive redemption season. I think Mohamed Salah might actually be pushing for the Golden Boot. He might also be pushing for Playmaker Award. I think he's really disappointed. He's one of their main men, so of course that's going to be a driving factor. They've improved their attack. They've improved their midfield. But then after some thought, I was like, I'm still not convinced by their defensive line. Andy Robertson's time as a Liverpool defender, especially in the Klopp system, I think it's starting to come to its last days. I don't think he has the same quality he has before. With Van Dijk, I think this may be the last season where you get some qualities that you've had from Van Dijk in the last couple of seasons. I think from not this season, but next season onwards, I feel like his level is going to drop significantly, and Liverpool needs to get a new centre back to either let him learn under Van Dijk. I know Konate is still young, but I think he's also established himself as one of the great Premier League centre backs in today's game. Um, I don't think he's a bad centre back. However, I think you do need to look for that Van Dijk replacement. And with Trent Alexander-Arnold pushing into more of his inverted position in midfield, I think the defensive line is still going to be shaky, and I don't think Allison is. I don't think they should be relying on Allison to save them in all of this. Now, moving on to the top four. This may be a hot take. I don't know. I'm not too sure, but I have Chelsea in fourth. And the reason why I have Chelsea, people may think, what on earth are you even talking about? They finished 10th or 11th last season. They their squad is all over the place. I don't think that's the case, to be honest. They've sold a lot of players, so they've kind of reignited the squad. They signed around six players, and four of them of which are significant transfers. So I have them in front of me right now. They've signed Robert Sanchez from Brighton, so a keeper competition for Kepa. They've signed Diassi, a centre back from Liga, who's quite solid. Nicholas Jackson. So I know him from his Villarreal days as well as a La Liga fan. I think he's a phenomenal striker, quality striker. And Nkunku, obviously that was agreed last summer. But I think with Chelsea finishing 10th last season or 11th last season, I think was a blessing in disguise because now Mauricio Pochettino comes into this team, will have more than enough time throughout the season to to make the team understand how he wants to play. What type of football does he want this Chelsea team to play? And I think Mauricio Pochettino got the players that he's wanted. I think his player profiles are matching with what he wants. I think this is going to be the first time in years that Chelsea are not going to be playing a three back or a five back. So I meant like three center backs and wing backs. Um, and I think the squad is a bit more lively. Like I said, I don't like to judge from preseason, but their preseason has been pretty good so far. And I think with one game in hand, sorry, I think one game a week, like I said, why it's a blessing in disguise is because they have one game a week, and I think they'll have more time to focus on the different things they want to achieve. Look, I don't think the Chelsea board are expecting Marcio Pochettino to win trophies within the first year, but the important aspect is for Mauricio Pochettino to make the players understand how he wants to play and discipline the players because last season it was all over the place with Tuchel getting sacked early and then getting Graham Potter and then getting Frank Lampard, which was a very bad decision. Um, I think they're going to finish fourth. I think them finishing in the bottom half of the Premier League table last year is a blessing in disguise. They're going to have a lot of time to focus on what they want to achieve, how they want to achieve it, the way they want to achieve it. So I think they're going to push for top four. Top three, I think a lot of people would probably agree. In third place, I have Man United. The reason why I don't have them second is because I think Arsenal, who I think are going to be in second again for the second season running, I think they're just a little bit way too over the place. I still don't think the players quite understand what the entire system is. However, Man United did indeed go and get players from the transfer market in the positions that they desperately needed to improve. So they got a quality keeper in Onana. They got a quality player in Mason Mount. I know a lot of people are trolling about him and trolling of his recent performances, but I think give him time. I think he'll fit very well into this United system. We'll see in the opening Premier League fixtures. Maybe I'm wrong. Um, and they got Hoyland from Atalanta. Not many, no. I think they spent around 75 million euros or pounds. Um, Not many know of his skill set, so I think he's going to be a new addition to everyone in the Premier League. Everyone will find out who he is, how he plays. However, I just think Man United still need this season, this just extra season under Ten Hag, to actually figure out who they are, and maybe 6 months down the line they actually figure out who they are. They play better football. They're more fluid. Players understand each other and one another. There aren't any more problems in the dressing room. There's a new captain in Bruno Fernandes. Um, so yeah, I don't have much to say on Man United. I just think Arsenal are a better organized team so far under Mikel Arteta. So yeah, that's my second place. I think Arteta and Arsenal are going to finish second for the second season running. But I don't think it's going to be them bottling it in the business end of the season. I just think this season, this is my first place, who I think is going to win Man City. I mean, come on. Like every season under Pep Guardiola, Man City goes into the new season as favorites for every single competition they're in, for the Champions League, for the Premier League, for the FA Cup, for the Carabao Cup, and now they're currently playing the Community Shield. It's 1-1. I don't know. I haven't checked the score after because it's extra time. So the Community Shield, the Super Cup after they won the Champions League, and now the Club World Cup. They're favorites for everything. And I know they had players like Mahrez to leave. He went to Saudi. Gundogan, sorry, he went to Barca. Um, I think Cancelo is probably on the verge of leaving as well. I know he's still in the squad, he's still in the team, but I don't think City would want him. I think City now are. focusing more on playing. Literally, their back line is going to be consisted of all center backs. I think there was a something leaked or something. Some of their transfer plans or the way they want to set up for the season is to continue using the formation they did last year, but they're going to have proper center backs all over the defensive line. So that comes to the selection of Guardiol. So literally, I think the most expensive defender so far, or probably just behind Maguire. Um, and they've got Kovacic in as well, who's going to take on that Gundogan role. Sorry, Gundogan role. I think he's going to be immense for them. And their starting lineup is arguably one of the best, if not the best, starting lineup in the Premier League. You've got Ederson, and then you've got the three centre backs in front of him: Ake, Akanji, Diaz, or Gvardiol, whoever you want to start. And then Stones and Rodri in midfield. Obviously, Stones is an inverted right back. And you have Walker in defense as well. You have Rico Lewis, whose breakout season was last year. And then you have Kovacic and Foden can play in that role, or Alvarez with KDB, Holland up top, and then you've got Grealish and Bernardo Silva. Come on, they are the favorites. Yeah, I don't think anyone's gonna be catching them this season. The thing with City every season is that they enter the new season not on the best run, not on the best form. They're a little bit shaky trying to figure out who this team is every single season because Pep likes to change a lot within his starting lineup. But I don't think any of us should worry. I don't think Man City fans should worry. When it comes to the business end of the season, Man City are gonna get it done. Yeah, so these are my predictions. Let me know if you agree or disagree. Put down in the comments below if you think otherwise. Give us your top six. If you want to give us your top 20 as well, that would be amazing as well. If you would like to DM us on Instagram, everything is down below in the description to tell us about who you think is going to finish in the top six. And let us know who you think is going to be the top scorer, the top assister, who is also the Playmaker Award, the best keeper, best breakout player, best young player. We'll probably do that in a future episode. But yeah, so thank you for watching, and see you guys next time. Bye bye.